We've seen that across this era that we've generated 27 clinical trials that have yielded more than 850 peer-reviewed publications. POPCAP's success is tangible. In one study, veterans treated at a PCF VA Center of Excellence were 57% more likely to receive precision testing and care than veterans treated outside the VA. 3 times more likely to receive testing compared to before POPCAP started. As one example, here's a story of a West Point graduate and an Army veteran with advanced prostate cancer. When he did not respond to standard treatment, his Center of Excellence doctor ordered the precision testing. A drug was identified that would work in his specific cancer, and over 5 years later, this veteran is alive, enjoying his family and his 2-year-old granddaughter. That's the impact of finding treatments that work on genetic mutations. Since POPCAP's finding, PCF's commitment to this program has risen to $65 million, driven entirely by private philanthropy. The POPCAP Authorization Act of 2026 would deepen this to a permanent establishment that within the VA requiring at least one center of excellence in each region that the VA serves. The act will also require every center to employ a full prostate cancer clinical team and dedicated research staff, enabling more veterans to access precision testing, targeted treatments, and clinical trials no matter where they live. Each of our veterans dedicated his life for the safety and freedom of our country. They should be the first, not the last, to benefit from our medical breakthroughs and modern precision cancer care. The POPCAP Act of 2026 will drive this care, advance clinical trials, and benefit men, the women in their lives, and their families nationwide. It will amplify the impact of private philanthropy, helping protect the POPCAP program, and the Centers of Excellence now will offer this for our future generations. Thank you for your attention.
Ms. Carruthers, thank you to you and to your foundation for the important and valuable work, life-saving work that it does. Thank you for the support of the POPCAP 26 Act. Let me ask you about the, how do you, let me ask it this way. What was the vision of the Prostate Cancer Foundation when it created the partnership with the VA, and is the VA fulfilling that dream of the foundation?
So thank you, Senator Moran. That's a great question. I think the Prostate Cancer Foundation had the vision of bringing into our veterans the leading edge cancer research and the defensive treatments that they men could be offered who have prostate cancer in the VA. And that vision has been sustained. And we look at it as wanting to be continued to be sustained because men and their families have definitely benefited from, once you're diagnosed with this disease, to then understand your genetic profile and then to understand what treatments may work when standard treatments don't work. And so from our perspective, it should be a sustainable program. And so, yes, our vision is being realized. We're continuing to work with our VA clinical trial organizations across this country, and we're continuing to support their efforts and support their efforts in terms of publications, communication, dissemination of their great research. The VA has also been a terrific partner in this. They've been able to establish the clinical trial researchers in these programs, and they've been able to help them develop careers within the VA that are essential to the treatment for men with prostate cancer.
You mentioned screening, but I'm not sure what the point was. We don't screen at the VA. We don't screen in the United States. Was there a point to be made to us in that regard?
I really appreciate you asking that, Senator Moran. Today, in 2012, in the United States, the U.S. Preventative Task Force Services made a decision to stop screening for prostate cancer in this country. At that time, roughly 1% of our men in the United States were diagnosed with metastatic disease. That's disease that's left the prostate and is now in the bones and the lymphatic tissue, perhaps, of the patient. Today, we're roughly diagnosing 22 to 25% of our men in this country with advanced metastatic disease. Disease that leaves the prostate is far more challenging to treat and typically requires lifetime treating. Screening, early detection, is a simple blood test. And so when we move away from a simple blood test to screen men to see if they have elevated PSA over time, we lose the opportunity to have an early intervention, and hence we're chasing advanced disease. We focus on making drugs for this part of the disease. However, if we could bring back screening and we could implement screening in the prostate cancer population for men and the veterans, as we've done with lung cancer, screening is essential. Early diagnosis leads to effective outcomes. In prostate cancer, 99% of our patients are cured when they're diagnosed early. And today, we're seeing 22% of our men with advanced disease.
In my own annual physical, not to get personal, but there seems to be confusion. I'm often given the option rather than the doctor telling me what I should have transpire. And so I hope that there is the correct standard. Apparently there's disagreement or uncertainty about what you just said. Is that true?
So thank you, Senator Moran. It's an interesting situation. In 2018, the guidance came back for U.S. Preventive Task Force Services to call for shared decision-making. And shared decision-making leaves the patient responsible when, in fact, there's time in the primary care office for the conversation to ensue. But in many cases, if we have men who have cardiovascular disease and other health challenges, the restriction of time inside your physician's office may not lead for that time to talk about what screening could be.
Okay. Thank you. I just have a couple seconds left, Dr. Graham, but let me ask you two quick questions. Less competitive salaries, you mentioned. How less competitive are the salaries or were the salaries in your time at the VA?
Thank you for the question, Senator. You know, one of the challenges, certainly there's a lot less, salaries are lower than income in private practice. Academic salaries, depending on the specialty and the institution, vary greatly. I think, you know, one factor that we often face is particularly among junior physicians. Junior physicians often leave training with a large amount of debt. Some of the advantages of a VA career, not only in the terms of work, but in terms of long-term benefits, are things that come with a lifetime career. But often our junior physicians are focused on getting their family started, buying a home, paying off their